week in review, good practice. Thought we handled it well. These kids have prepared well every single week and very businesslike. And today was a positive Thursday, and we'll move ourselves through the travel, get down there tomorrow, and away we go. So it's been a good week of preparation. Again, I think our scout teams do a tremendous job. And, they were invested in it this week and did as good a job as they could possibly do to prepare the rest of the travelers to go get on the airplane and go play a big game.
Gary, I think on the Big Ten teleconference, you were talking about kickoff returns, and you said you were trying to get Corey ready, and we might use Melvin in certain situations. Where does that stand?
That's a possibility. Right now it'll be how we were last week. Those two, Zoo and Corey back there, but we will see. Certain situations may put James back there, and it may put Melvin back there.
I assume you're comfortable just with the way Zuliger handled the ball and gave you a little bit of something coming out of the
Yeah, he does. He's number one. He's very good at catching it and makes good decisions back there. He's been in the moment many times, and I like that, especially in a game like this. And he's gonna get every inch he can get. We all know that about Zoo. I mean, he's gonna give everything he's got.
How is Wheelwright been after that drop last week? Has he bounced back?
Oh yeah, he's fine. Yeah, he'll. It's all a learning curve, learning process. Not happy about it. I think it aggravates him is probably an understatement, but he's progressing. I like where Robert is. I like how he's developing, and I think he's going to be a tremendous player.
Myers said that Miller's going to definitely get the start. Does it make a difference to you guys? Miller starts, Guyton, if they both play.
Nope, and I'm sure they will both play. So we haven't really prepared any differently for whatever quarterback's out there.
What do you say to younger players or seeing interaction between younger and older players, the guys maybe who haven't played in a game like this on this stage in an environment like that?
Yeah, well, I think we talk about a lot of that stuff in camp, and I just do not believe in treating one game as this massive game or this is a big game, and it's another game. We prepare exactly the same way. I think if we see a lag in a young kid last week or the week before this week, we would treat it the same way, and the seniors would treat it the same way. They have high expectations. So just like it's been every other week, if we see a young man that's not practicing the right way, this powerful senior class will address it, and they've addressed it every single time it's happened, and as well as the coaches. But I'm just not a believer in, okay, this is the game. It's not. Maybe at the end of the year if you get in a position like that, but not this game.
You've been asked often about someone stepping up as a pass catcher at wide receiver, but what about the blocking that unit has done overall?
Impressive. It's been. First of all, they take great pride in it. Secondly, I think Coach Beatty does a great job of making it important and recognizing the kids when they make those blocks, and I do my best to make sure I recognize them when they're sacrificing themselves that way, and they block very well. They're physical, they're on the right guys, and the biggest thing is it's a wide receiver crew that takes pride in blocking.
You said you expect both quarterbacks to play for Ohio State. Do you anticipate that they might try to put them both out at the same time or run a specific package for Kenny, or it doesn't really matter?
If I was anticipating I would not expect to see them both on the field. Maybe they might, who knows, but I wouldn't anticipate that. I would say this, I think with the backs that they have, and they're back at full strength at running back, the thing that I anticipate is two-back, more triple option, some of the stuff that they did a year ago. Both quarterbacks run it very well, and they've been effective at that in the past, so I would expect that. May be wrong, but we have prepared a little bit down those lines.
Dave Aranda was on the radio this morning talking about reaching out to Chris Ash and Andy Boo. What does that say, A, about Dave's thoroughness, and then B, also that those guys would help him out about defending Brexton?
Yeah. Well, I think that anytime you have a relationship with coaches, which Coach Aranda does with those guys, they'll come back and communicate with each other and share some information and talk about it. But it's Dave's very thorough now. He's thorough at everything he does, and it's a good part of it. I don't think that's unnatural in the coaching profession to reach out and do that. So it's a big part of what Dave does.
Gary, when you look at Ohio State, do you learn more from what you saw 12 games last year or what you saw 4 games this year?
Oh, 4 games this year. And it's a little bit of a tough read because after the first quarter, many times it's almost been over, and by halftime it basically has been over. So it's you see who they are, but especially you look at the defense, and it is much different than it was a year ago by personnel and really by plan by package. It's a different coverage in the back end as a base coverage, and their base coverage gives you a little different look. And offensively, they are different than they were. But like I said a few minutes ago, I do expect some of the offense from a year ago to rear its head in this game.
You mentioned on the teleconference that you couldn't recall seeing a first quarter point differential like what Ohio State had done this year. Do you think that's more product of their opponents, or are they just incredibly fast starters?
No, I would. I guess time will tell, but they're fast starters without question, and the teams that they've played have been ready to play, and Ohio State's executed at a very high level. So, last week I think they got the ball in field position that was unbelievable for the first 4 or 5 series, but Ohio State took advantage of it and scored touchdowns when they needed to. So they're a quick starting team, and I think there's no question about that. It'll be a big part of this game.
How good is their wide receiver Devin Smith? The guy who's, I think, 41 yards, a touchdown catch for 14 catches. What does he do to get open?
Well, they give him opportunity to make big plays, but he also, yard after catch is pretty good with him. I think he catches balls in contested areas, which is always a telltale sign to me of a quality wide receiver. He's shown that he can do that. He has tremendous speed, and I think he has good vision once he gets the ball in his hands. His ability to, read the field when he's in open spaces is pretty impressive.
Soldier and Hillary been pretty even killed this week, or can you tell they're anxious for another opportunity in a game like this to go out and compete?
They've been fine. Same old. I think they've even Chris. Chris didn't get a play in this game. We all know what this game means to Chris, and he's been very even keel. But I would say, when I say that, I mean very focused, just like they've been every game, and want to play right there. Okay, when it's good, it's good. We'll play right there. When it's bad, we'll play right there, and just keep on grinding. And that's the way they prepared, and I hope that's the way they play.
Did you see what you wanted to see out of Sojourn in the Purdue game, based on the fact that he talked about losing some poise out at Arizona State? How did he respond?
I think I think he took the advice and handled it very, very well. He did respond. I think a few times that just the moment can catch up with the freshman, if you will, and staying focused and completely playing within the defense kind of comes with repetition and experience, and he has handled that well in the last game. Now, he'll be tested this game, even possibly more so than the Arizona State game. Anything else?
Thanks, Gary.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Thanks.
Have a great trip.